government sources right now on the Indian airspace being monitored?
Well, Indian airspace being monitored. This is a national emergency. Safety of passengers is paramount. DGCA is monitoring the situation. Viewers, let me give you context to it, because Indian airspace, there has been a certain amount of curtailing. Primarily, these are just standard operating procedures at the back of what has happened, which is highly unusual. So therefore, look at it not in terms of panic, but purely a standard operating procedure. What we can also add in all of this, Akshata, is that the Srinagar airport now is completely closed for civilian flights. So it will only be used as a center for the armed forces, and there will be no operation of civilian flights where, at least for now, the Srinagar airport is concerned. Air India Indigo has rescheduled, cancelled flights to Jodhpur, to certain cities in Punjab, to certain cities in Gujarat, to Chandigarh, to Srinagar. So if you are scheduled to travel this morning or this afternoon, do check in with your airline before you take that flight. Because adding to it, like Akshata was pointing out earlier, news coming in that the Indian airspace is being monitored very, very closely. This is a standard operating procedure. We are in a national emergency at the back of what happened yesterday, because Pakistan has vowed to retaliate, and India needs to be ready for any such retaliation, keeping its citizens away from harm. So all of this, Akshata, is just SOPs that need to be followed with stringent measure.
That's right. And the message is very clear from sources in the government that safety of passengers is paramount. You may see a few minor inconveniences, but safety in a national emergency is paramount. And the DGCA is closely monitoring the situation. What you're seeing is flight operations being hampered, affected largely in parts of North India. And there are also several precautionary measures being taken. We can't take any chances right now. And that's the message going across from the government, which is why Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India, like Preeti was telling you, has putting out several communications about flight operations that have been hampered.
All right, Aishwarya is joining us live with more details on this developing story. Aishwarya, all of this is temporary, because right now at the back of what has happened, Indian airspace has been curtailed, emergency measures in place. What more can you add?
Well, Preeti, one thing that the government is very clearly looking at, and this is something that all the airlines also know very, very well, that it at the moment is risky, if we, especially if we look at Jammu and Kashmir and all the adjoining, all the areas that are around. Even if we speak about Punjab, some parts of UP, so all those airspaces at the moment are being monitored by the government. They understand the risk, and the airlines also now understand that it could be risky. That's why we are seeing massive rescheduling taking place. The government is also saying that all the airlines have been told that the rescheduling is a must. They need to do it, and also need to keep a very watchful eye on the entire airspace. So that's what the government at the moment is doing. The DGCA, which is the authority which looks at the Indian airlines, which looks at the airspace, that also is now constantly monitoring the airspace. Government very, very vigilant, at least for the next 24 to 48 hours.
So we know that the Srinagar airport right now, Aishwarya, has been shut off, and we don't know exactly for how long. That will depend, of course, on the situation and how things progress. Is there a plan right now of the Civil Aviation Ministry of the government, Aishwarya, to possibly shut down more airports closer to the border?
Let me tell you, that is something that the government at the moment is very keenly looking at, which is why the entire airspace from north to south, east to west at the moment is being looked at. It's not just that, the government also is looking at the adjoining airspaces of the adjoining countries. That's also something that is in the vision of the government, because we need to be very, very vigilant. Government is very, very clear. We have done the precision strike. We should now wait, because there is a chance that Pakistan could hit back.
Aishwarya, could you give us details? Right now, the information that is coming in is all domestic carriers. Air India, Indigo, SpiceJet. What about international, airlines? What about international flights? People who are scheduled on that? Is that all in place right now? Any impact on international travel?
Well, there could be, Preeti. That's the reason why you are seeing one airline after the other. They are giving out emails. They are calling people and telling them that what you really need to look out for. One, before you leave your house, make sure that you check whether the timing of your flight is on or whether it has been rescheduled. So the next 48 hours, especially for people who will be traveling, they need to be they need to keep a hawk's eye on the messages, on the calls that they will be getting, because the situation at the moment is very, very fluid. They cannot take a risk. The government is very, very clear. The DGCA very, very clear. You cannot take the risk, neither the passengers nor the airlines. So that's something that everyone out there will have to keep an eye out. Do keep on looking out for the emails, the calls, messages from airlines, because there is a possibility over the next 48 hours at least, we could see a massive rescheduling taking place, not just in a particular airline, but across various airlines.
Okay, that's an important update from Aishwarya. For the next 48 hours, we could see some disruptions in flight operations. If you're flying out, have a flight to catch, ensure you check with the airline on the schedule if that's changed up, because now, right now, in the next few hours, flight operations in several parts of North India have been hit. We're talking about delays, diversions, cancellations as well. All of this keeping in mind passenger safety. There is certain protocol to be followed in the case of a national emergency, as the government has put it. So they're leaving nothing to chance, as should be the case, which is why you're seeing some disruptions being reported. You know, compare that to Pakistan. Pakistan airspace is completely empty right now. Not a single international airline is taking the chance of flying over Pakistani airspace. They've all completely cut off and ensured that they fly around Pakistan right now, keeping in mind what's happened and the tensions right now between India and Pakistan and Operation Sindoor as well. Thanks very much, Aishwarya, for getting us all of those details.